Today on Studio One, bringing new music to the radio airwaves, Mike Olson is working hard to expose others to a wide variety of music. And many students are finding alternative ways to pay for the rising costs of college education. We'll tell you how the National Guard and ROTC is just one of those solutions. And we'll preview the movie Diabolique.
Now, from the University of North Dakota with Scott Seiler and Stephanie Mars, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Studio One today. Nice to have you along with us. If you're out traveling around, you know there's a lot of bumps on the road.
Lots of potholes, and that's indicative of spring. And our news team will have more on the dangers of potholes coming up later.
Okay. Also today on Studio One, if you're looking for ways to get rid of those headaches or a possible sleeping aid, Kathy Bakke will be here and have some natural alternatives for you.
And Becky Houglem will show us how stimulating areas of the hand and foot can relieve tension.
But first, today's national news from CNN and news from around the region with Mike Mundell. Mike?
Thanks, Scott and Stephanie. After 17 days, the strike against General Motors that has put more than 175,000 people out of work may soon be over. The United Auto Workers announced Thursday a tentative settlement has been reached. The walkout had virtually halted GM's car and truck manufacturing in North America and idled 175,000 workers. Union members will vote on the agreement, and if it is approved, some workers will be back on the job soon. The House is voting on a bill that would repeal the ban on assault-style weapons. With that announcement, gun control advocates are rallying their strongest weapons, the survivors.
And the people want this. This is the vote. This is the vote Friday. I can't understand why I'm back here again.
Many Democrats have been quick to condemn the upcoming House vote. The president says he'll veto it if it gets that far. Most House Republican leaders acknowledge the ban has little chance of being overturned. They explain that it is merely fulfilling a promise to gun control opponents. Winter is a hard season for people with asthma. Cold air is a major contributor to asthma attacks. Asthma affects the airways in the lungs, which makes breathing difficult during an attack. A new medication helping asthmatics is called Ceravent. Ceravent gives longer relief than other inhalers on the market.
Ceravent is similar to that, but instead of working within 3 to 5 minutes, it takes about an hour, but it'll last about 12 hours. So in many asthmatics, it's smoothed out their day. Instead of having used their Prevental because they're short of breath 3 or 4 times a day, they can take this twice a day and they don't have to use their Prevental. Well, some of them don't use it at all.
Ceravent is producing positive results in the asthmatic patients that have been using it. People with asthma may be able to brave the cold next winter with the help of the new product. A much-used therapy for seasonal affective disorder or the winter blues may not work. People with SAD would often sit in front of a light therapy device for treatment. The machine would emit bright light in place of natural sunlight. Around a dozen companies sell the devices and have claimed health benefits from their use. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has sent letters to most of the manufacturers warning them that it is illegal to make medical claims about the light-emitting products. So far, the FDA says none of the light therapy devices used for sunlight treatment have been approved. Your calendar will tell you spring is finally here, bringing with it the signs of spring: snow melting, birds chirping, and of course, potholes.
Potholes are a yearly nuisance. They are caused by water underneath the pavement. When this moisture expands the asphalt, a pothole appears. These potholes can cause big headaches for car owners. So if you think your car may be damaged because of a pothole, here are some signs to look for.
If the car's handling different, or if your steering wheel is in a different position, it's a good sign that you have damaged something. And you should have it checked right away for safety purposes. So if you did crack a piece or something, you don't want it to break while you're driving down the road. So it'd be best to have it checked right away.
Dodging potholes has become an everyday sport for local drivers, but city officials say that there is an end in sight. The city street department has been patching streets for 3 weeks, focusing on the larger potholes in high traffic areas. These patches are only temporary though, until warmer temperatures and drier weather allow the pavement to dry. City workers are out daily looking for potholes, but are willing to take suggestions.
We don't mind getting the phone calls on the bad potholes.
everyone's got a pet pothole, I guess, so they seem to call in on an area they're driving in all the time.
If you're concerned about potholes in your area, Gary says to be patient. The crews are working day and night to fill the complaints. Josh Anderson, Studio One.
Mechanics suggest to wait until pothole season is over to fix your car, unless the damage is severe enough to put you at risk. And that's a look at news for this half hour. Scott and Stephanie?
Thanks, Mike. It's almost like an obstacle course out there. You need to sort of like drive with care and, swerve around them.
It is, and I think I'm going to be needing to take my car in soon. But we can't complain about the temperatures we've been having. Spring is finally officially here. Patrick, are temperatures indicative of that?
Oh, definitely. This morning temperature is fairly warm. We're about 4 degrees over what the normal is for the normal low for this morning. And right now we're in the 20s, so it's pretty decent out there right now. Here's a look at those current conditions here in Grand Forks this morning. We're under partly cloudy skies. Our temperature's at 23 degrees, the dew point at 19. That's given us a relative humidity of 84%. Winds are north at 14 miles per hour. The pressure 30.17 inches, holding steady. And our wind chill this morning is at 1 above. Now, taking a look at those temperatures across the region, and you can see temperatures basically holding at 28 at Fargo, 30 at Bismarck, 26 at Rapid City, much cooler across northern Minnesota, 13 at Duluth, and 7 degrees at International Falls. Now, earlier on this morning, Grand Forks did see a little bit of snow this morning, some light snow flurry activity here and at the base. Also at Minot Air Force Base, they did report a little bit of snow this morning as well. But for the most part, those flurries have dissipated off. We're looking at more or less partly to mostly cloudy skies across the state at this time. A weak cold front did move through. That's bringing in a little cooler temperatures across this area. Here's our next storm system that's moving in on the west coast, which will give us a chance for snow a little bit later on in the weekend. Now, taking a look at what we're going to see in the next 12 hours, this stationary front will be moving in from the west. Look for the cloud cover to continue across our area. That system will be moving in through the Rockies area. Look for the low to set up over Utah. And over the next 24 hours into Saturday night, we're looking at that system to gradually move into about northern Colorado. Look for the snow to be spreading up into western North Dakota and into western South Dakota. That's where the heaviest accumulations will be. And it'll gradually, that snow band will gradually lift our way by the weekend. Here's your forecast for today. Look for temperatures to get up into the 30s for much of North Dakota and 20s for extreme northern North Dakota. For lows tonight, looking at teens across the northern ends, 20s across the south, teens across northern Minnesota. Now, taking a look at the forecast for today, look for partly cloudy skies. Look at north winds between 5 to 15 and a high of around 30. For tonight, becoming mostly cloudy. Winds will be coming out of the east at about 5 to 15 with a low of around 16. And in the outlook Saturday through Monday, look for the high to drop from 35 to 20 by Saturday through Monday. And we're looking at that chance of snow to be coming in about Saturday night into Sunday. And look for the best chance for snow here in Grand Forks to be coming in on Sunday. So it definitely does not look like spring with those temperatures, nor for what we're going to see for the precipitation forecast. Scott and Stephanie?
Thanks, Patrick. Don't like to see that snow, but the temperatures will be a little bit warmer.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we're going to get rid of that snow until actually April sometime. But snow does help basketball and also hockey. But first, we're going to talk about the nailing down the Dirty Dozen, Josh.
That's right, Scott. We are down to the Dirty Dozen in college hoops. A big night in college basketball Thursday as the Sweet 16 got underway in Minneapolis and Atlanta. 4 games last night, bringing us ever closer to the Final Four. First up, Texas Tech and Georgetown in the Georgia Dome. The Red Raiders' Darvin Ham keeps Tech up early with the slam over the big fella Othello Harrington, but John Thompson says he's got an answer to that. Allen Iverson with 2 of his 32 leads Georgetown to a big second half in the win, 98-90. The Hoyas have a couple great players, but Kentucky, they've got about 12. A yawner in the Metrodome. The Wildcats wasted no time taking care of Utah last night. Antoine Walker with 2 with the jumper in the lane. Rick Pitino smiles, and Kentucky rolls 101-70. Back to Georgia, Arkansas, and UMass. Marcus Camby puts the Minutemen up 20-10 with a nice putback. UMass goes on to a 79-63 win. And now to the best game of the night. Wake Forest and Louisville. Closing minutes, Wake down 2. Who do you go to? I think it's Tim Duncan. With 3 the hard way, puts Wake up 60-59. And then seconds left, Juan Wheat for the Cardinal win. Can't get the jumper to go. Wake advances to play Kentucky on Saturday. And those are the national highlights. Now here's a look at the overnight scores. As as we slide into April and the weather gradually turns nicer, our thoughts turn to America's pastime. And UND's baseball team has been thinking baseball a little longer than the rest of us. The Sioux are coming off their annual trip to Florida, where they compiled a 6-3 record over a week of playing teams from around the country. The Sioux still practicing indoors, but this weekend they travel a little closer to home and go west to take on Dickinson State in a pair of doubleheaders Saturday and Sunday. UND hopes junior center fielder Carter Regala continues his strong play. He earned North Central Conference Player of the Week after hitting .552 and belting 3 homers on the trip down south. And fear not, hockey fans, our second half of sports totally devoted to the game on ice. Scott and Stephanie?
Can't wait for that story.
No, I can't wait for it.
11 minutes now past the hour. Still ahead on Studio One, we'll show you a man who's exposing radio listeners to alternative music.
But first we'll talk with Kathy Bakke and the natural alternatives to common ailments. Studio One continues after this.
Log on to us on the internet. Our email address is udstudio@badlands.nodac.edu. We want to hear what you have to say about Studio One. Let us know what you think about our show, or better yet, give us your story and guest ideas of who you'd like to see on Studio One.
Insurance. Unfortunately, it costs. Fortunately, it pays. Voller Insurance. Grand Forks, Devil's Lake, Bismarck.
You know, ever since I got Community National's imaging, I've had a great idea for a game show.
From your bank statements, who can find check number 1144?
Here it is. Jack's Hardware Store, September 15th, 1995 for $39.
Who is the only bank to offer this incredible imaging service?
My bank?
Wrong. Bill?
Community National Bank, of course.
Be a winner in your new fashion wardrobe from Columbia Mall. Look great in class, your school activity, and your sporting event. New styles are arriving daily. It's an easy stop and comfortable shopping when you shop for all your new fashions at Columbia Mall, Grand Forks. Easy parking, great people, super prices on your new fashions.
The Army National Guard has been serving Americans ever since there has been an America, and we will always be here, giving our best to our communities, preserving our freedoms, protecting our way of life. We're America's citizen soldiers. We're mechanics, businessmen, farmers, nurses, teachers, neighbors, proud to be part of the communities we serve. The Army National Guard, Americans at their best.
Handpick your insurance company? As your agent and broker, that's our exact job. We think we do it well, and have been since 1947. Voller Insurance, Grand Forks, Devil's Lake, Bismarck.
You're watching Studio One, news, weather, sports, and entertainment.
If you're searching for alternatives to cure common ailments instead of prescription medicine, we may have some ideas for you. There's a variety of natural products on the market for many types of conditions. And Kathy Bakke is from Nature's Country Store and is explaining some of our options today. Kathy, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
How did you first get started with the natural way?
Well, I've lived here all my life, and my grandparents and my mother were into this sort of thing. And when I was going to college here, I worked part-time in this health food store. And after I was done with school and married, and we bought the store from the previous owners, and
the rest is history.
Yeah.
So why should people do it the natural way? What are some of the good points about it?
Well, for one thing, you don't have to pay for a doctor's office visit, and there's no side effects to these, so they're all natural. They can't harm you in any way, and
so there are no risks involved at all?
No risks, no.
Just don't overdo it.
Right, yeah, that's with anything.
Well, let's take a look at some of them. You're going to tell us what's inside them and actually what they look like, too. That's what's the fun part of it.
This is a new cold and flu product that came out this year, and it's got a few herbs in it. The new one is elderberry, and that helps stop common viruses. It does that by stopping the virus from entering your cells so that it can't multiply.
Now, about how many do you take? Do you take like just one a day, or?
Usually, for this one, when you first come down with a cold or flu, take 2, 3 times a day. And that way, like a cold that would normally last a week should only last a couple days.
Is this for adults too, or can it go to?
Yeah, it can be for adults or children. The capsules are designed for adults. There's a liquid that is designed for the children.
Yeah. How effective are taking like cold tablets like that?
These work very well. Like I say, they can shorten the duration of your cold, make you feel better while you have the cold or flu.
What about drowsiness? You know, you see some of the over-the-counter stuff that makes you a little drowsy.
No side effects at all.
Good, good. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay, this is melatonin. This is a new sleep aid that's out this year. And melatonin is the natural hormone in your body that regulates your sleep-awake cycles. So this works good for anybody with insomnia, but especially well for jet lag or people who work night shifts. Anytime they have to sleep at odd hours. But it can help anybody get
So
better
what's in
night's
this?
sleep. Melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone our bodies produce that make us sleep at night.
So it's not like a plant or anything, you just like go out into the garden and cut?
No, it's actually the actual hormone.
So do you take this just when you need to, or do you take it like every day?
You can take it every day if you need to, or just take it nights when you can't get to sleep. If you're laying there for hours and can't get to sleep, get up and take a melatonin.
Let's move along to some of the other ones. What do they do?
This one, this is ginkgo biloba. It's for mental alertness. They did studies that showed it helps improve concentration and memory, and so that's a real popular product right now.
What about for college students who are studying, or people who have to stay late night at work and finish up a project? How does that help?
It just helps you stay alert, helps you concentrate, so you're not, you know, kind of dozing off while you're studying or things like that. And this one's a combination of the ginkgo and other herbs and vitamins.
So does it have like caffeine? You know, like people say, you know, stock up on caffeine.
No caffeine.
No caffeine. Okay. And some of these others?
Addicting. This is glucosamine sulfate, and that replaces the natural lubrication in your joints. It's for like people with sports-related knee injuries or work-related injuries, arthritis, anytime you have problems with your joints. And here it is in a formula with other herbs and vitamins that help reduce the inflammation in your joints. So
all in the pill form?
Yep, all in pill form.
Okay. And this one?
This one's phytoestrogen. It's one of the wild yam products, and wild yam replaces another hormone in your body called DHEA, and our bodies use that hormone to make all the other hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and as we age, those hormones tend to decline. So people, as they're getting older, like to take the wild yam to replace some of those hormones and feel a little younger. And
quickly on this one, for parents who have teenagers.
Yeah, in fact, that works for adults and teenagers. It's for acne. These are the capsules that detoxify your skin, gets rid of the toxic residue from all the junk food and pollution and everything else that contributes to acne. And then there's the cleanser that goes along with it.
Real quick, I have to ask you this. I have allergies. Do you have anything for that?
Yeah, we do. We have several different products for allergies. Some of them help with just the symptoms, runny nose, watery eyes, things like that. And then there's other products that help prevent the allergies from even starting.
Great. Kathy, thank you so much. These are very helpful.
Yeah.
I have to check them out for my allergies.
Yes, you will.
Thanks, Kathy. It's around 19 after the hour, and just ahead on Studio One, a fantastically bright comet is streaking across the sky, and we'll give you a first-hand look. But first, radio listeners have been enlightened with a fresh selection of music. Mike Olson of Northern Lights Public Radio plays music to appeal to all listeners.
A child needs you. You are the hope. Come on and join us. Everybody working together. Come and walk America. Everybody's making it better. Come and walk for someone you love. Come and walk for someone you love.
I was looking for a car for 3 months, and the folks at Honda Nissan knew I did TV commercials. And so they asked me for suggestions. And all I could tell him was how great I was treated at Honda Nissan. And the next thing you know, here I am. When I went to Honda Nissan, I was treated with such respect. And I really couldn't believe the quality and selection that I found there. People always tell me that you get what you pay for. But at Honda Nissan, you really do get what you pay for.
Beautiful memories, beautiful places, a quiet evening by the lake, a pond by moonlight, an old barn weathered by the years, a country lane leading to the past, an old-fashioned harvest complete with feathered freeloaders, a wild stagecoach ride into the past, a winter hunt. Home Economy Home Furnishings offers a wide variety of paintings which will beautify your home as well as fuel your imagination. Travel through our home furnishings department today. It will be one of the most inexpensive trips you've ever taken, even if you buy a painting. Home Economy Home Furnishings, Highway 81 North, Grand Forks.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota is steeped in tradition. From the first graduating class, students today learn from the Modern Law Library and computer labs. Students write for the North Dakota Law Review, take part in moot court, and review court proceedings with video technology. Law and medical students compete in the annual Malpractice Bowl.
The size of our student body gives great access to their teachers, and our computer network allows us to access worldwide legal resources.
Look up the UND School of Law for more opportunities.
The term musical guru is often used to describe this man. His encyclopedic mind took a 4-hour radio program from a concept to a full-fledged FM radio station. He turned many people on to styles of music they may never have heard otherwise, from the blues to international music. Studio One's Eric Dethridge shows us why Mike Olson is someone we want you to meet.
March 6, 1995, a day that will live in infamy for Mike Olson. That's when Northern Lights Public Radio turned his brainchild into the music program into a full-time showcase for eclectic styles not often heard on the airwaves. Now it's the first anniversary of KFJY, and Mike reflects on that day in radio history.
When I say that it's like having a kid, I have a couple of children, and it was like that. It was like, I mean, like, wow. I was ecstatic, you know. Actually, I could hardly contain it.
In his youth, Mike explored diverse styles of American music, especially country rock pioneers like the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. His record collection mounted thanks in large part to a mail order club, but music was nothing more than a hobby for Mike. He worked 5 years in the western North Dakota oil fields. While checking the tanks one day, he had a near-fatal accident. He says he had what's called an out-of-body experience.
During the most vivid impression that I had when I was up there on those tanks was how weird this is, that my time is going to come right here, right now, out in the Badlands, and I haven't even studied Shakespeare yet.
Mike enrolled as an English student at UND. He applied at the radio station for any kind of odd job they could offer. He walked out with his own roots music show. Over the years, the program expanded and gained a loyal following and eventually settled on Northern Lights' AM station. There was, however, one persistent complaint.
The thing that they always said was, hey, you know, can we have this on an FM? Can we have stereo, you know?
KFJY's success helped bring artists like John Hammond to town. Thanks to Mike Olson's love of music, Grand Forks is enriched with interesting songs and a slice of culture.
We look for good songs and good rhythms and interesting colors.
Eric Dethridge, Studio One.
Mike says the next big thing down the pike is alternative country music, with bands like Sunvolt and Freakwater leading the way. If you're looking for a film with suspense until the very end, then the film Diabolique is for you. The plot consists of a love triangle involving a man, Guy Barron, and his wife Mia, and his girlfriend Nicole. The two women get together to plot his murder and succeed, or so they think. But they are surprised later when it seems they have been set up and someone else may know about the murder. They become major suspects and are questioned about Guy's disappearance. However, strange happenings are beginning to make them feel a little nervous that someone may be on to them. This film stars Sharon Stone, Kathy Bates, and Chaz Palminteri. It opens March 22nd. Now, time to take a look at the events that are happening in your area.
We've seen people hitchhiking on interstates, on city streets, and highways. Some use it to thumb their way across the United States. Others use it as a technique for some type of criminal activity. Here are your thoughts on if you would stop and pick up a hitchhiker.
No, I wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker. It's for my own protection and the safety of my own safety. You never know who's out there and what they could do to you.
No, I don't think I would. There's just too much crime today out there. It's just too dangerous. I don't think I would.
It would depend on what they look like. If they look scary, I wouldn't pick them up. But if they looked all right, I would probably try to help them out.
Depends on the circumstances. If they're obviously in trouble, then I would. But if if their car was there, then I would pick them up. But otherwise, probably not, just because it is dangerous.
No, because you never know what they'll do to you. You know, they could kill you or rape you or, never know.
It would depend on what they looked like. If they looked like they needed help, I probably would. If they look kind of dangerous, I don't think I would.
Someone who's not going to rip me off or maybe steal my car, shoot me in the head or something. But if he's been wearing the same clothes for the last 20 years, he looks kind of rough and scraggly, and I might think about it twice.
Star watchers, beware. There is a new kid on the block, and it's taking the astronomy world by storm. A comet is about to make a close encounter with Earth. The Hyakutake comet was just discovered at the end of January. Now, since then, the comet is traveling closer and closer to the Earth and is something worth taking a look at during the evening hours. The comet is going to provide one of the brightest shows the Northern Hemisphere has seen in recent times, yet it'll remain more than 9.5 million miles away.
Unless the comet funks out on us, which seems less and less likely, it will become the brightest comet in 20 years.
It's really snuck up on us, and we hope we can get the word out quickly enough so people get out there and see it, because it won't be around that long.
Astronomers say if you're looking for the comet, look to the northwest, and you'd better hurry. It'll disappear sometime in April. 28 minutes after the hour, and still ahead on Studio One, Becky Houglem will show us how to alleviate a common headache without using pain relievers. Plus, a look at how the National Guard and the ROTC are helping college students pay their own way through college. That story, plus Patrick's updated weather forecast and news and sports in our next half hour of Studio One.
UND's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study and learning after hours with classes on weekends and evenings. Or enhance your personal and professional development through conferences, management seminars, and specialized programs.
Our goal is to provide quality programs and extend UND resources to you.
For more information, call 777-4266 or 1-800-342-8230.
At Studio One, we're moving you into the future, and we're growing. Today, nearly 1.5 million people have the opportunity to see Studio One. In addition to Channel 3 in Grand Forks, Studio One can be seen on Channel 2 in Fargo, Channel 12 in Bismarck-Mandan, Channel 19 in Minot, in Crookston, Minnesota on Channel 7, and now on Channel 6 in the Twin Cities greater metro area. You're never far away from Studio One as we move you into the future.
Oh, gee, I mean, you ask the students.
The education that you get is as good as or better than what you can get at anywhere else.
The teachers really go out of their way to help you outside of class.
It's just an incredibly rich opportunity and environment here.
Gee, Vince, what kind of dummy wouldn't know how to use a child safety seat?
Beats me, lads. Child's play.
You just buckle him in.
Unless he's over 20 pounds.
Then this one's good.
Except if he's over 40 pounds.
Then you're into this kind of rig.
What if he outgrows that?
Put him in a booster seat?
What if he's too big for the booster seat?
Would he use the safety belt?
The Auto Safety Hotline can tell you everything you need to know about keeping your child safe in a car.
I'm a wreck.
Totaled.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Call 1-800-424-9393.
Now from the University of North Dakota, this is Studio One.
And welcome back, everyone.
Coffee drinkers around the world are celebrating National Coffee Week this week with those big coffee cups like they have on Friends. Do you drink a lot of coffee?
No, I like the smell of it, but I don't like the taste of it.
Either do I. But a lot of people do. My dad really enjoys it. So if you don't drink coffee, this might be a good week to try it.
Time to celebrate it. Well, coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, our news team will show you how people on vacation can be seen by a doctor without leaving their hotel room.
Plus an in-depth look at serving your country for benefits, which may include money to pay college tuition.
And we'll learn how stimulating reflex endings can have a terrific impact on your various body organs. And Stephanie, you're going to be demonstrating that and how that's going to be happening. But first, today's national news from CNN and regional news with Mike Mundell. Mike?
Thanks, Scott and Stephanie. The House passed tough legislation Thursday aimed at illegal immigration. Lawmakers say the bill will reduce crime, secure borders, and protect American jobs. The House bill would add 5,000 Border Patrol agents and set up an 800 number for employers to verify the legal status of prospective employees. The bill would also crack down on people who smuggle illegal aliens, force documents, and overstay their visas. The most controversial part of the measure is children of illegal immigrants could be barred from public schools. Investigators have uncovered the reason behind a deadly fighter jet crash in Nashville. Flight recorder tapes show the pilot had asked for a high-performance takeoff. Most planes are cleared to climb 5,000 feet. The F-14 pilot asked to climb 15,000 feet. Air traffic controllers were shocked at the outcome.
Operate. Hey, this is the tower. Just had an F-14 crash about a mile and a half south of the airport.
5 people were killed. North Dakota students can gain research experience and earn money through a new program. Research experience for undergraduates, called REU, gives students first-hand experience in their field of study. UND student Sarah Cousineau has been accepted to the REU program to do research beginning in May. Sarah and her professor will be researching the evolution of a nearby galaxy called M86.
Allows someone like Sarah to be competitive. If she goes to graduate school and wants a career in astronomy research, then through this program she will already have lots of experience doing research, possibly have a publication to her name, and she'll be much more attractive to graduate schools in astronomy.
Students participating in the REU program will receive $2,500 for 10 weeks of research. Getting a doctor while on vacation is now as easy as picking up the phone. A service called Hotel Docs is giving medical assistance to travelers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hotel Docs has been in business for 8 years with nearly 1,000 physicians, dentists, and chiropractors stationed in 54 cities around the U.S. It takes about 40 minutes for the doctor to reach the hotel after someone dials 1-800-HOTEL-DR. The $150 flat fee does not include the cost of medicine or equipment. Hotel Docs says upset stomachs are the most common ailment. Rehabilitation can be a long process for anybody. This process can be even more difficult for children. With the help of a special program, children are able to have fun while they work their way through the process. Rehab 123 is a program that helps children develop their abilities. It was built 1 year ago with physical, occupational, and speech and language therapy goals in mind. Since its birth, Rehab 123 has helped between 700 and 800 children. When children go to Rehab 123, they work and play in different areas. There are several reasons why parents may want to take their children to 123.
They might have concerns just about my child's not speaking as well as my neighbor, or have concerns about the way my child walks. So we try to speak with them and kind of weed out exactly what we could provide for them.
Once children arrive at 123, they work with a therapist to learn and improve their skills.
There's a lot of different things that they can learn. There's our computer area where they can work on thinking skills, they can work on promoting their speech activities, they can work on strengthening activities. Just about any goals that the therapist might have for the child, they're able to do.
Each work area has a theme to it. This helps the children by letting them use their imagination. Rehab 123 started out as an idea of having a playground outside, but with the upper Midwest winters, that idea soon changed. Today, the Rehab 123 program is helping children by letting them work and learn in a fun environment. Mike Mundell, Studio One. The Rehab 123 program in Grand Forks is supported by donations from sponsors and is only the 3rd pediatric therapy environment in the country. Golfers around the world are teeing off with excitement. The excitement is over a new type of golf club made of titanium. Titanium is a material that is lighter and stronger than steel. Some golfers may enjoy this new creation, while some may be a little bit hesitant.
Initially, the titanium drivers were right around that $500 range, but they've come down substantially where now they're going to be in the mid 300, 350, 360 range.
Marshall says the clubs allow the ball to go farther and straighter than regular golf clubs. He also says not all golfers will benefit from the titanium clubs. The clubs first came out last summer, and today almost every company makes the titanium clubs. And that's Look at News for this half hour. Scott and Stephanie?
Thanks, Mike. You know, I could really handle a new set of titanium clubs.
I don't golf a lot, but I caddy for my husband quite a bit, and we're really anxious to get back on the golf course. But Patrick, with your forecast, it doesn't sound like we're going to get out there for quite a while.
No, we're not going to be getting out there anytime soon with the new winter storm that's coming in from the west. It's going to be giving at least western North Dakota a chance for some copious amounts of snow as this snowstorm system comes in. There is a winter storm watch that has just been issued for western North Dakota, but we'll be getting it sometime about Saturday night. We'll take a look at that in just a few seconds. First off, here's a look at the current conditions here in Grand Forks this morning. We're under partly cloudy skies, our temperature of 23 degrees. The dew point 19, that's given us a relative humidity of 84%. Winds are north at 14 miles per hour. Our pressure 30.17 inches, holding steady. Wind chill this morning is at 1 above. Your forecast for today, look for partly cloudy skies with north winds 5 to 15. Look for a high of around 30 degrees. For tonight, becoming mostly cloudy with east winds 5 to 15. Look for a low of around 16 degrees. And in the outlook, Saturday through Monday, now here's the chance we could see some light snow coming in here in Grand Forks on Saturday evening, and then Sunday definitely see some snow here, and then by Monday the snow should be tapering off. Temperatures are going to be dropping down from 35 on Saturday to 20 by Monday once the system passes through, because an Arctic high pressure system will be moving in behind the system, so we should see a little bit of cooler weather. But overall, we're going to be below normal for temperatures, so it's nothing to smile about for this beginning of spring. But overall, it should be pretty decent after that, Scott and Stephanie.
Thanks, Patrick. I thought with the beginning of spring we'd have spring-like temperatures, but I guess not.
Not here in the upper Midwest. Only probably in April can we start smiling and seeing getting rid of that snow. But the snow is good news for people who love hockey, and for a group of youngsters, Josh, they're just loving this weather.
Well, since it's still cold, I guess we can still talk hockey. Gender equity is a hot topic in college sports today, and a couple weeks ago we showed you how the University of North Dakota is addressing the issue. Well, this week we show you a team that certainly meets the compliance guidelines. The Grand Forks Angels are a first for the area, and their skills on the ice have them on the brink of a national tournament berth.
Girls hockey has hit eastern North Dakota. The Grand Forks Angels Pee Wee team is winding down their first ever season, a 23-3 record so far, making the first season a success. But just giving the girls the chance to play was enough. Coach Don Nelson says it's a natural fit for the area.
The hockey interest, this is, northern Minnesota, eastern North Dakota. There's always been hockey interest for the boys. It's the 90s. Girls realize that they can do anything that boys can do.
And these girls do it pretty well. Most of the team comes from hockey families where brothers or cousins had a big influence, although the players realize the difference with the boys' game.
A lot of people aren't very optimistic when they think about girls hockey, but it's once they come and see us, they know that, hey, it's not a bad idea, and there's no checking, so it's not that physical, as the boys are, but it's a lot of fun.
You dreamed about doing this ever since you were little, then you finally get a chance, and then just come out here and play. It's a real good opportunity for girls.
And the Angels have made the most of their opportunity. With a win this weekend, they could lock up a spot in the national tournament in Bloomington, Minnesota. But the goals for Grand Forks girls hockey run deeper than just one season.
The ultimate goal for us right now, the people that are involved would be able to see girls hockey at the squirt, pee-wee, midget, or high school level, so that girls growing up in Grand Forks now that want to play hockey have an opportunity at the age brackets all the way through high school, just like the boys do.
With the success of their initial season, that dream could become a reality.
And women's hockey is very popular on the East Coast, where many colleges compete on the varsity level. And in 1997, the University of Minnesota will join in with their own women's hockey team. Here's another look at the scores from last night. Well, college basketball, not the only sport dealing with tournament play. College hockey begins their own version of the tournament this weekend when Minnesota takes on Providence in East Lansing, Michigan on Saturday. Scott and Stephanie, that's it for sports.
Thanks, Josh. 41 minutes after the hour. And stay with us as reflexologist Becky Houglem will demonstrate how her techniques can help relieve stress.
Plus a look at alternatives for financing your college education. That story's next on Studio One.
Insurance. Unfortunately, it costs. Fortunately, it pays. Voller Insurance. Grand Forks, Devils Lake, Bismarck.
The University Bookstore at UND is open to everyone and invites you to make it your lifelong learning resource center. At the largest university bookstore in the Dakotas, you can choose from a wide selection of educational materials, imprinted clothing, and gift items. The trade department carries general interest books, reference materials, and educational software. Special orders and direct mailing services are available at the University Bookstore by calling 1-800-671-0948.
Be a winner in your new fashion wardrobe from Columbia Mall. Look great in class, your school activity, and your sporting event. New styles are arriving daily. It's an easy stop and comfortable shopping when you shop for all your new fashions at Columbia Mall, Grand Forks. Easy parking, great people, super prices on your new fashions.
If you think a college education is out of reach, the Army National Guard can put it within your grasp. With the Montgomery GI Bill, you can attend college full-time while serving in the Army National Guard. It's the best way to earn money for college while serving your country and your community. So join the Army National Guard. Earn the money you need for college and learn the skills you need for life. The Army National Guard. Americans at their best.
Handpick your insurance company? As your agent and broker, that's our exact job. We think we do it well, and have been since 1947. Voller Insurance. Grand Forks, Devils Lake, Bismarck.
You're watching Studio One. News, weather, sports, and entertainment.
College students everywhere know how difficult it is to pay for their education. Many students pay for their school by joining the National Guard or participating in ROTC. Studio One's Teresa Johnston takes a closer look at how joining the military can help finance your education.
The National Guard enables students to finance a college education. The Guard requires members to give 2 days a month and 2 weeks a year. The National Guard is a segment of the Army that allows members to be part-time reserves. Sergeant Chris Wagner is a recruiter for the Guard.
And we work basically hand in hand with the state and to provide riot control, natural disaster support, and then on the federal side we align based upon our particular job of that Guard unit. We align ourselves with the active component in the event of a major confrontation or war.
Bryce has to give up 15 days of his summer vacation and be prepared for active duty if there is a war. Bryce joined the Guard to finance his college education. He receives a $2,000 signing bonus and tuition reimbursement when he completes a semester of school.
I also received a GI Bill, which is right now is for a full-time student is $197 a month. So it's a pretty good deal. Without that, I probably wouldn't be in school right now if it weren't for the National Guard.
Bryce spends his National Guard weekends in Fargo working with an engineering battalion.
We'll build roads or haul things, trucks, long-haul missions, things like that. We're heavy equipment and engineering.
Another military option for financing an education is the Reserve Officer Training Corps. Members of ROTC are in training full-time while they're in college. Corey Strandberg is training to be an Army officer in the ROTC at the University of North Dakota. When he graduates from college, he will be a second lieutenant in the Army. Corey is using his ROTC scholarship to help pay for college.
In addition to your core curriculum of your classes, no matter what your major is, you have requirements to take military science classes. You can start off with military science 1 And two, the third year is more of an advanced year.
Unlike the National Guard, ROTC works on a scholarship basis. Student cadets earn scholarships through grade point averages and outstanding leadership.
I got involved in the aviation program here at the University of North Dakota and was awarded the Air Battle Captain Scholarship, which is open on a competitive basis for aviation majors. It is a scholarship designed to provide the U.S. Army aviation branch with flight qualified individuals.
Corey also receives $225 for books and lab fees each semester, as well as a stipend for living expenses. Major Kevin Wold is in charge of recruiting for ROTC at UND. He says there are a variety of options for graduating cadets.
Is their wish list? Do they want to go active duty or do they want to go reserve duty? And then which branch do they want to go in? We have 14 branches. Do they want to go aviation? Do they want to go military intelligence? Do they want to go engineer or armor or infantry? There's 14 selections to make.
Once cadets are accepted into a specific branch, their time requirement can be anywhere from 3 to 6 years after graduation. As a pilot, Corey will be required to give 6 years to the Army. Students can pay for a college education by joining the National Guard or ROTC, but there are requirements that go beyond signing on the dotted line. The Guard and ROTC can be a lifelong career choice.
And Teresa Johnston joins us for some additional follow-up information. Teresa, how long are people actually required to serve if they go into the National Guard?
Well, actually, it's an 8-year requirement. The first 6 years, you're required to give your 2 days a month, 2 weeks a year, and then your last 2 years of duty, you're inactive, but if there's a war, you will have to go.
And so you will have to serve. What about all this rigorous training people have to go through? Do you have to run like 100 miles a day or anything like that?
No, that's a common misconception, you know, from Stripes and all the movies, but actually, they do have to work out 3 times a week, and there are physical requirements that each cadet has to meet.
So they're really, they are in good physical shape.
Yeah, oh yes.
Okay, good job. Thanks, Teresa. Up next on Studio One, Stephanie talks with Becky Houglem. She'll tell us about the basic concepts of reflexology.
If there's something you want to know about Studio One, write us, call us, or fax us. Our address is Box 7307, Grand Forks, North Dakota, 58202. If you wish to call us, dial 701-777-4346 or fax your message to us at 701-777-4342.
Only you
can prevent forest fires.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Smokey says.
Drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Smokey says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
I was looking for a car for 3 months. And the folks at Honda Nissan knew I did TV commercials. And so they asked me for suggestions. And all I could tell them was how great I was treated at Honda Nissan. And the next thing you know, here I am. When I went to Honda Nissan, I was treated with such respect. And I really couldn't believe the quality and selection that I found there. People always tell me that you get what you pay for. But at Honda Nissan, you really do get what you pay for.
When you put together quality faculty with quality programs, with superb students and all kinds of neat opportunities, you're going to get literally a world-class education. And that's what we can provide at the University of North Dakota.
Coming here, you do meet a lot of people from different cultures, and it's really broadened my horizons a lot, kept me more open-minded.
I really like the professors here. They're always available. You can go in and talk to them whenever you need them.
It really has everything to offer. You don't need to go far away to get a really good education anymore.
Did you know that pressing certain spots on the soles of your feet can relieve tension and stress from your entire body? It will also improve your blood circulation, which makes you feel less tense. The technique is called reflexology. Becky Houglem is a reflexologist and will take us into the relaxing world of reflexology. Thank you for joining us today, Becky. What exactly is reflexology?
Reflexology is a natural therapeutic science that deals with the principles that there are reflex areas in the feet and hands that correspond to all the body parts, organs, and glands.
Where did it originate?
Through India and through Egypt. They're very ancient arts, and they came, Eunice Ingham started working with in the 1930s, so they've been around for a while.
Does this have anything to do with acupuncture? Is it on the same principles, or is it entirely different?
It's kind of like parallel to how chiropractors maybe used to work years ago, but we deal with reflex endings where acupuncture deals with pressure points throughout the body.
What type of education did you have to go through in order to become a reflexologist?
I went through training seminars, professional training seminars that travel all over the country in different parts of the world.
And you continually update your skills?
Yes, I do.
Well, today we're going to do a little demonstration, and you're going to show us the different reflex endings in our foot. And we're going to do it on my foot. And so, what exactly, when someone comes in, what is the first thing that you do with them?
Usually I just get them to relax in the recliner, and then I do a few relaxing techniques on them first.
What would you do if I came in and said I'm suffering from headaches, and they almost are migraines, and they've been going on for quite a while?
We don't treat for specific conditions, but what we do, we relax them first, and then I usually start with the toes.
Okay. What do the toes, where do the toes control?
They work with the head areas. All the reflex areas in the toes go to the head. So your big toe represents the right half of your head, and each little toe represents each area of that half.
And my right foot and left foot control are different areas of the bodies, correct?
Right, right side and left side.
Can you tell anything about me when you touch a person's foot initially? Can you sense if they're under tension and stress and those types of things?
Very easily.
What can you read from my foot?
Well, right now I'm working your cervicals that go to the cervical reflexes to the neck, and when the toe is tight, I know that there's a lot of tension in the neck area, because I can tell there's just tension all the way through the foot.
And a little tension here. What other areas control different areas?
Well, the diaphragm area is right across, just underneath the ball of the foot. And so if that's very tight, that's an indicator that people probably are not breathing very well. Maybe they have a lot of back stress, upper back stress, or maybe they even have a cold or bronchial problems all through the ball of the foot.
So despite the fact someone might come in and say, I have a specific problem, do you treat the whole foot?
Yes, we do, because each system relies on the other. You don't just work one area, you have helper areas as well.
So you would treat the right foot and the left foot, and also you work with the hands, and it would be how long would one of those sessions last?
Usually 45 minutes to an hour. And if I work the feet, I don't usually work the hands in the same session time. I alternate, or I just start with the feet.
What types of things would the heel of my foot, where does that correspond to different parts of my body?
The inside heel is the extreme low back and your tailbone. So if somebody's injured their tailbone, it will still show up here by deposits.
Who normally come to see you? Do accident victims or terminally ill people?
I've worked on any and every type. I've had a lot of people who have been in car accidents many years ago, and there's still a lot of trauma indicated in their body.
Do you ever come across feet that smell really bad?
No. Sometimes you think that's the hazard of the job. But no, very few. They're very conscientious of how their feet, smell or look when they come, so they usually either wash them or they take pretty good care that way.
How about the outside of my foot in this region? What area does that control?
This would be the arm and shoulder. Being that this is the outside, the lateral side, it would be the outside of the body. So you're going down the arm and the shoulder, the ribs.
So if I suffered from arthritis in my shoulder or elbow, if you would rub in that area, would that relieve that?
You would feel some of the pressure ease up. You would even feel some of the pain, because pain is an indication there's a lack of oxygen, and a lack of oxygen is a lack of circulation, and inflammation will block out your circulation.
How often does someone have to come see you? Do they need to go on continuous visits, 3 to 4 a week, and then gradually taper off?
Some do real well just with a few sessions. Again, if it's stress related just from worry or just from overdoing, overexertion, you can relax the body a lot faster. The healthier the person, the less, amount of sessions they would need. Some run for maybe months or years, depending upon the severity of what their body is suffering from.
And it feels very good when you treat my feet. What other types of things can you help people deal with?
Oh, there's many things. A lot of times I give people homework to do, like on their hands, like for diabetics, have them work on their hand areas, the left hand where the pancreatic reflexes would be. And I've actually had one client now. She has not had diabetes for over a year, but she's been coming for a few years.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us today,
Thank
Becky.
you.
56 minutes now after the hour. Studio One continues after this. And we can
From the University of North Dakota, you're watching Studio One.
UND's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study and learning after hours with classes on weekends and evenings. Or enhance your personal and professional development through conferences, management seminars, and specialized programs.
Our goal is to provide quality programs and extend UND resources to you.
For more information, call 777-4266 or 1-800-342-8230.
Good afternoon, officer. My license and registration. Cheeseburger? It's hot out today, huh, officer? Maybe my tail light's out.
Shouldn't you be carpooling?
I guess you're right.
I guess I am.
Carpooling can save up to 600,000 gallons of gas a year. This message sponsored by Ad Council and Earthshare.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota is steeped in tradition. From the first graduating class, students today learn from the Modern Law Library and computer labs. Students write for the North Dakota Law Review, take part in moot court, and review court proceedings with video technology. Law and medical students compete in the annual Malpractice Bowl.
The size of our student body gives great access to their teachers, and our computer network allows us to access worldwide legal resources.
Look up the UND School of Law for more opportunities.
Coming up next week is an accomplishment we're very proud of here at Studio One. We'll be celebrating our 150th episode. We'll look back at where we were and our exciting plans for the future. So join us and help celebrate our 150th episode next week on Studio One.
It'll certainly be a celebration. And if you think I'm rubbing your feet every time before the show, forget it.
That'd be kind of nice, though.
Yeah, a little less stressful.
Relax me.
Good. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with pictures of some hopeful signs of spring from photographer Kirsten Gunnerud. From all of us at Studio One, we'll see you next week.